Laudato Si is an exhortation that we must change our ways, and that we're running out of time to do so. In the first two chapters of the groundbreaking encyclical Laudato Si, Pope Francis lays out the incredibly urgent nature of our climate crisis. It represents one of the principal challenges facing humanity in our day. How did we get to this point? The Pope outlines our current state of affairs and how we got to this current tipping point by giving our postmodern lifestyle a name: the technocratic paradigm. This is faith in technology and instant gratification as the most powerful forces in our lives, and it leads to unbridled and thoughtless consumption, the raping and pillaging of our planet for her goods, and for us to see ourselves as the ultimate end. It's clear to all of us. We are living like we have the final word, read the only word on this planet. Consumption for so many is the only salvation. This has led to a rupture with creation, with our sense of connection with the natural world. We are alienated from the gifts and the mysteries that God gave us, and we are alienated from each other. This has led to a breathtaking deterioration of both social and ecological systems, so that human relationships and ecological health are in peril. We are on the brink of collapse. As Pope Benedict XVI said years before Pope Francis, the exterior deserts are growing because the interior deserts are so vast. We're not meant to live like this, in an immense pile of filth, as Laudato Si tells us. We are meant to live in harmony with creation, in oneness with creation, which, as it were, is a wonderful caress from God. We are all interconnected, and we are but one part of the fabulous and intricate web of all that exists. The question then is this: are we so alienated from the world around us that we dare to think the rules don't apply just because we're unique? That is how we're living our lives, like the massive injustices around us have no consequences, or that we won't be affected. Of course, Pope Francis, in pointing out all of this, does not mean to disparage or deprive human beings of their unique worth and the tremendous responsibilities we have. Nor is he implying a divinization of the earth, as might often be thought. We must remember that our unique dignity comes from being made in the image and the likeness of God. This requires that we act like we are marvelous, not monstrous. All is not lost because Pope Francis tells us we have the capacity to change, and that's what we're all about. What does all of this have to do then with justice? Well, as important as our relationship with creation is, Laudato Si reminds us that our relationships with each other are just as vital. We have been gifted with each other, and so Pope Francis makes it unequivocal throughout Laudato Si over and over again. All things are interconnected. We have to realize then that a true ecological approach, he tells us, always becomes a social approach. It must integrate questions of justice and debates on the environment so as to hear both the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor. Concern for the environment thus needs to be joined to a sincere love for our fellow human beings and an unwavering commitment to resolving the problems of society. How can we expect this to be otherwise? How can we expect things to get better if we throw ourselves at protecting the rainforest or cleaning the seas while we walk past the homeless and do nothing to protect them? How can we expect the seas to stay clean if we're trashing our fellow humans' sense of self-worth? Since all things are connected, how can we successfully solve any of the problems in the ocean or our atmosphere or in our ecosystems if we don't address the problems in our streets, in our homes, in our families? If we do not see all things in creation as worthy of protection, of our care, of everything in our common home as belonging and as loved, how will things ever get better? All things are interconnected. We cannot compartmentalize our love and our care for our brothers and sisters. Indeed, Laudato Si's message is a clarion call that the trees, the whales, the birds, the tiny little opalescent nudibranchs in the tide pools on Alki Beach, go ahead and look them up. They're all our siblings. They all receive the infinite caress from God. It's clearly inconsistent to combat trafficking in endangered species then, while remaining completely indifferent to human trafficking, while remaining unconcerned about the poor or undertaking to destroy another human being deemed unwanted. This is probably nothing new for you, maybe, but in hearing it so clearly, like never before from Pope Francis, it leaves us questioning. Truly, what will we do about it? It cannot be overemphasized enough how everything is interconnected. It stands to reason then that human environment and the natural environment deteriorate together. We cannot adequately address one without the other. All of us, we hear from Pope Francis, can cooperate as instruments of God for the care of creation, each according to his or her own culture, experience, involvements, and talents. In closing, if 2020 has taught us anything, it is that things are only getting more urgent. We must not wait. Thank you.